What's going on, everybody? My full name is David Delano Murata. Go by David Delano, first and middle name in the sports betting world here. And we're going to be talking about a lot of the action that's going to be going on for Saturday and Sunday. We're talking about some college football games for Saturday, some free picks, some thoughts, some free NFL picks. Also, going to be talking about my thoughts on the Major League Baseball playoffs so far. And also one thing I'm going to do on these videos just a little bit differently than some of the other free picks. I'll get into some personal things from here to there, talk about things a little bit beyond sports when appropriate. So first of all, thanks so much for watching on this particular channel. Had a lot of free pick videos on a lot of different sites over time. Most recently over at Picks and Parlays YouTube channel, Winners and Winers YouTube channel. I've written for several different sports websites. I've been making quite a few appearances on XM, Sirius XM Radio, channel 159, Sports Grid, and now on Sports Grid TV. Lately, quite a few appearances with Gabe Morency. I'm going to be on there Sunday night talking about some of the Sunday action, looking ahead to the card, and also some Sunday night football. So if you got Sports Grid TV and you're looking at this before Sunday, October 6th, go ahead and check that out. And if you want to see my content in all the different places, check me out on X at Get Sports Strong, a company that I started with handicapping picks, sports entertainment, all of those different things. But I just want to go ahead and talk to you guys. Thanks so much for watching. It's good to be here. And before I go ahead and get into the action, I definitely was a very busy last couple weeks for me. Got married on September 22nd. Still making picks and all those things. I did have a TV appearance that I was not able to make. It's just so interesting. Sometimes you wonder if people will wonder if you're gone. I had so many calls and things, and I told a lot of people, and I know it's hard to, you don't want to really bug people with things like, hey, I'm getting married. This is what's going on. But I mentioned to people I'm going to be off the grid a little bit, and I've had a lot of messages. People like, where you at? Where's the picks? Where's this? And I'm still putting picks out each day. You miss a couple days with videos, or you have a day or two where you're just not looking at your phone or responding to text messages, and people think that you're dead or something. And no, I'm here so often, day after day. I mean, this takes up so much time. This and so many other things. I coach as well, different other things going on. My youngest son has a soccer game tomorrow morning. We got to get out there at about 7:20 in the morning. It's about a 30-minute drive from the house. He's in club soccer, even though he's 6. So a lot of different things that take some time. And I just spent about a week as far as not just being in the grind of answering every phone call, answering every text message. And a lot of people just wondered what was wrong. And that's what was going on. And just a lot going on in my world as well in the sports industry. But enough about that. We'll get more into that later on. Let's go ahead and talk about this upcoming weekend. Before the postseason started, my World Series prediction and future bet, San Diego Padres to beat the Detroit Tigers. Obviously, I don't think the Tigers, I am a Tigers fan, and that's not why I'm saying it. One of the things over the past couple postseasons, formula I'm trying to use is a lot of it is who's the hottest team, not the best team. Tigers seem to have a lot of magic going in their favor at the moment. And I've been kind of feeling like fading these teams who had the first round bye, even though those were the top 4 teams overall, record wise. I think that the Tigers right now, good matchup against the Guardians. They went 6-7 against the Guardians. That could go either way, but with this momentum, you got Skubal going in game 2 and the layoff for Cleveland. I think that Detroit can take this series. Then you also got that matchup with the Mets and the Phillies. That should be interesting. a dangerous matchup for the Phillies just because it's a division matchup and they had that layover. I do think that the Padres get by the Dodgers. The Padres were 8-5 against the Dodgers this season. And the matchup with the Royals and Yankees, it does look, it does look a little overwhelming that obviously the Yankees are going to be the biggest favorite in their series, in their individual series remaining. But I think for that game, the Royals on the run line +1.5, that means that even if they don't win, they just need to keep it within a run. At -210, really high price. Garrett Cole has not been great at home this year, but the Yankees have gotten him a ton of run support. You wonder going into this playoff series, the Royals bullpen, the last couple weeks of the regular season and in the playoffs, their bullpen has been on a roll. And now, even with the rest going into the series against the Yankees, I think that it's going to be a low-scoring game. And is Garrett Cole going to be able to keep the Royals? Are the Yankees and Garrett Cole with this layoff going to be able to keep the Royals below 3 runs? I think that that's what it's going to take to win that game. If the Royals get to 3 or 4 runs, I think that they win this game. Michael Wacha going in this one. It's been a while since he's been in the postseason, but the guy has a lot of postseason experience. He's experienced the highs and the lows. So it should be really exciting matchup in the American and the National League. Just staying true to my postseason predictions. I think that the Tigers are going to get by the Guardians. I think that the Padres are going to get by the Dodgers as well. The other two series, it's hard to say that there's going to be an overall series upset. I guess as I'm talking about it, I should put out an official prediction, but Royals, and I wouldn't bet on the Yankees. I would just say that. I just think as a sports bettor, the price wise, probably a little too high, but I would lean on the Yankees getting by the Royals. And the Mets, man, the Mets have been magic, but that Phillies team, they have been battle tested. Instinctively, I want to go with the Mets, but I'm going to go with the Phillies. I think that we're going to see a Detroit and New York American League Championship. And I think that we're going to see a Philadelphia and San Diego National League Championship. And I think we're going to end up seeing a Detroit and a San Diego World Series with the Padres winning it. I think that once this happens, one thing, a lot of the national media, they don't show enough love to baseball. I do think when the Dodgers and the Yankees get eliminated, if they get eliminated, which I'm predicting, I do think that we'll see a lot of attention about what an atrocity this playoff format is because the Yankees and the Dodgers don't make it to the World Series. If the Yankees and Dodgers do make it to the World Series, we won't have any complaining. But if it's not a Dodgers and Yankees World Series, the system will be broken. At least that is the way that it's going to be perceived. But it's interesting. I'm saying it's not a homer pick with the Tigers. I mean, the Tigers, one thing that I'm hoping just as a fan, that they don't think that this means that they don't need to spend money in the future. What the Tigers are doing right now, I don't think it's sustainable long term. I mean, he's got a lot of young players, and everybody, they're just a complete team right now, gelling at the right time. It's really a true example of everybody being a professional and doing their job. But you got Ibanez coming off the bench, pinch hitting, bases loaded, clearing double. I mean, this guy is a guy who's really been struggling, but they're all just kind of coming together right now at the right time. They're definitely not the best team, but they could win it. I mean, especially you got the best pitcher right now, best starting pitcher, and a bullpen that's been effective, and AJ Hinch pushing all the right buttons at the right time. I do think though that the Padres, I mean, we're seeing so much now with teams going to these bullpen games, 3 very, very solid starters. We did see Musgrove had to come out the other day. We'll see what his long-term status is. But Dylan Cease, Michael King, and they've got the offense to match it up. I think that the Padres are going to win the whole thing. Looking ahead here for some college football action, and I'm going to actually have to get this out somewhat early, maybe not talk too long, if I actually want people to be able to view this college football content. For those that want a little bit extra, if you do want my favorite college football play of the week, there's a link in the description of where you can grab that. But no pressure. There is a lot of other things to talk about. Last Saturday, I went 3-0 with the college football picks. I'm just looking at some of the games here that I do like. I think that this Navy and Air Force game should be exciting. This one starting at noon. You've got Navy team that I like a lot right now. We talk about for Notre Dame fighting Irish fans out there. Will Notre Dame lose another game this season before the postseason? If you're looking at the Notre Dame schedule ahead, it looks like USC is really the last real contest. But I think that Georgia Tech, Army, and Navy are all possible stumbling blocks for Notre Dame this year. I think that a lot of people are going to be looking past those games. But when we look at this one here, my lean for this game is going to have to be Air Force with the points. Air Force plus 10. That really means in order to lose, that Navy has to win this game by 11 points or more. I think that that's a bit to ask in a rivalry like this, where both of these teams just know each other so well. Both of these teams prepared for the option rushing attacks. Looking at it head to head, obviously, this is one of the better teams Navy's had in a while. Air Force has taken the last four meetings, including winning 17-6 last season. So Navy looking to break a four-game losing streak, and not just break a four-game losing streak, but win by margin. I like Air Force in this spot to cover the 10 points if you're going to play it. And the way that Navy's been scoring, you almost want to jump on the over, but I cannot jump on the over in a military academy game. Air Force 0-4 against the spread this year. Navy 3-1. Nothing lasts forever, though. I do think that Air Force is going to get the cover as an underdog, but I think that Navy wins the game outright. Another one, though, that I do like, speaking of military academies, I do like Army minus the 12.5 points against Tulsa. Army right now a perfect 4-0 against the spread. They've been really lighting up the scoreboards. Tulsa has had some big losses. Coming off of a 52-20 loss to University of North Texas. They a couple weeks ago. I mean, Oklahoma State. It's hard to knock them there. 45-10 loss, but they are 2-3 on the season. Beat Northwestern State and got by Louisiana Tech. But I think that this triple option offense. But I think that the way that Army's playing this year, I do think that Army covers the 12.5 against Tulsa. A few other games here that I'm going to touch on. I don't have as much time as I'd like to be on here and talk for 2 hours, and we'll see how this goes and see if there's even an interest in me talking longer. But looking at this game, Alabama versus Vanderbilt, total right now at 54. This is a bet for me. I've got over 54 in this game between Alabama and Vanderbilt. Alabama putting up 47 points per game right now. They have not failed to get to at least 41 points. And that's 41 on Georgia, 42 on Wisconsin, 42 on South Florida, even though a lot of those came late. 63-0 on Western Kentucky, and that's a decent football team, Western Kentucky. There's no reason for me to believe that they don't get to at least 41 points against Vanderbilt, who's a 22.5 to 23.5 point underdog. But this Vanderbilt offense has been solid, better than in a lot of years past. They're averaging 31 points per game. They put up 27 in their loss to Missouri. They beat Virginia Tech 34-27. Alcorn State, it is what it is, but a 55-0 win, and a loss 32-36 to Georgia State. I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Alabama, but does Alabama stop Vanderbilt from getting to 14 or 15 points? I don't think so. I like the over 54 points in the game between Alabama and Vanderbilt. If there's anything else I can touch on, this is not a game that I'm officially going to bet on. But Bowling Green minus 15 against Akron, my alma mater, Bowling Green State University Falcons. If this number was to come down to 14 or 13, I would like that a lot better. But they really should handle their business against Akron. Bowling Green, narrow losses, very competitive losses on the road to Penn State and Texas A&M, and then came home on homecoming, got upset 27 to 30, 30 to 27. Came home and got upset on homecoming day in Bowling Green, 30 to 27 to Old Dominion. Much better team than Akron. Bowling Green at 1-3. I think that they should be looking to make a statement. Akron's coming off of a 30-10 loss to Ohio, where if you look at the stats, Akron could have gotten beat even a lot worse than that. Lost 50-7 to South Carolina prior to that. They beat Colgate this year. 49-17 loss to Rutgers. It's hard, I mean, Bowling Green, Akron, not too far of a distance. Akron's not really any type of home field advantage. Bowling Green, though, when they're double digit, about six straight times they've covered the spread as a double-digit favorite, although that's going back some time. I do think that Bowling Green does cover this 15 points, so that's going to be another free pick for this video. If you want some of my best bets, my best bet for today, there's a link in the description along with the promo code if you want to check that out. If you want my best bets, there is a link in the description where you can get those, but no pressure. Let's go ahead. Touched on the NFL. I touched on college football. I touched on Major League Baseball. Let's go ahead and get into some NFL picks here. 3 of my favorite 4 NFL plays are going to be, there's going to be a link in the description where you can grab those if you want. I'll go into the games that I should say that I have some thoughts on. The New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. I don't really like that game particularly. I want to lean on the Vikings here with the 2.5, but the Jets, the reason I'm going to stay away from this, the Jets right now in a tough spot. They don't want to fall to 2-3. You're at a neutral site location, more desperate team. It's tough to see how these teams are going to react in London and Minnesota right now. I mean, they're riding high 4-0, but you have to wonder if a loss is coming eventually. New England and Miami, I want no parts of that game. Now, against my better judgment, this Indianapolis game against Jacksonville, this looks like it's just a little too easy to just jump on Indianapolis. Joe Flacco playing makes them a much better offensive team, I should say. Eliminates the mistakes. But something about Jacksonville that just gives Indianapolis fits. Jacksonville beat them soundly both times last year. They've covered the spread 8 out of the last 9 games against Indianapolis. Everybody's down on Jacksonville, 0-4 team. They just look completely terrible, and they're a 3.5. They're a 3-point favorite. Sorry. It's just Indianapolis getting points. I hate laying points with Jacksonville. I really do, but this is just one of those weird spots that I'm going to go ahead and back the Jacksonville Jaguars -3 in the spot. Bills, Texans, living in Houston, Texas here. Texans at home. It should be a very interesting game. When you see a lot of the money is coming in on a road team like this in a game that looks about fairly even, but I like the Bills. I do. I like the Bills -1. I like the Bills to win this outright here. Texans 0-3-1 against the spread. Some sites say I've got them at 0-4. That game against the Bears that they won by 6. Yeah, if that 0-3-1 is if you got it at 6. If you got them at 6.5 in that game for the Texans, you lost. So in a lot of places, the Texans 0-4 against the number. Barely got by the Colts. Not overly impressive against the Bears. They got killed in their first real only step up in competition against the Vikings, and they squeaked by the Jags last week. The Bills, they've looked good. They were embarrassed on Sunday night against the Ravens, but I think that they're going to bounce back strong. They had some bounces that didn't go their way. It was a letdown spot for them, but I do think that the Bills are going to bounce back here against the Texans. Another one here, some really ugly picks. The Cleveland Browns against the Washington Commanders. I like Cleveland in the spot. Do I like Cleveland in the spot? Okay, that's a strong statement. We're playing the numbers to say we like something sometimes. Don't really love it, but the Browns at some point are going to have to win another game. Coming off of two completely disappointing performances against the Giants and the Raiders. I mean, that Raiders game though, they really should have won that game. I mean, you have the missed extra point. Some penalties, some bad snaps. The Browns really beat themselves. Right now, the Commanders riding high. How can you not love the Commanders? How could you like the Browns? But are the Commanders really that much better than the Browns? I don't want to be a prisoner to the moment. I feel like this is the type of game the Browns win to avoid going to 1-4 with a very, very difficult schedule ahead of them. I think the Browns find a way. Even if they don't, I like that +3. Some places even 3.5. Give me the Cleveland Browns +3 to cover against the Washington Commanders. Another ugly one that I like quite a bit now that it's jumped up to 7 points. I like the New York Giants +7 against the Seattle Seahawks. How can you like the Giants? Well, I mean, they are playing better. When you look at the first game of the season, they got hammered by the Vikings. The Vikings are looking a lot better. Probably should have beat the Commanders, only lost by 3. They beat the Browns and they hung in there with the Cowboys. On the other side, and the Seahawks are coming off of a Monday Night Football loss to the Lions. But what worries me here about the Seahawks after this short week, they play the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday Night Football. This definitely could be a look ahead spot. Do you really want the Seahawks to win by more than 7? Give me the Giants at +7 points in that spot as far as an ugly game there. And also for the Sunday night game, give me the Dallas Cowboys plus the 2.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh, 6 out of their last 7 wins have come when their opponents have been held to 11 points or less. Pittsburgh, basically, they win when their opponents can't score. And Dallas is going to score. I don't know how many, but when I mean score, 14 to 17 points is going to be tough for the Steelers to overcome that. I think Dallas gets to 20. I don't think that the Steelers get above 22. I don't think they get above 20, but I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys either way at that +2.5 to cover. So those are some of my picks here for the NFL. If you want my best bet, check out the link in the description. But plays for this video, I've got the Dallas Cowboys for Sunday +2.5. I've got the New York Giants +7. I've got the Cleveland Browns +3. I've got the Buffalo Bills on the money line against the Texans. I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars -3. As far as college football goes, give me the Bowling Green Falcons -15. Give me the Army Black Knights -12.5. Give me Alabama and Vanderbilt over 54 points. And give me Air Force +10 against Navy. And game 1 in the American League Division Series, I'm going to go ahead and take the Kansas City Royals +1.5. -130 odds with Waka going against Garrett Cole. That means that the Royals don't have to win. They just cannot get beat by 2 runs or more. Those are my free picks for this weekend and for this video. Let me know what you think about today's content. If you'd like to see me go into more, if there's more topics that you want to talk about on this channel, anything, sports betting, some topics just coming to mind. Why do most people lose in sports betting? The responsible sports betting habits. Just any sports betting tips that you want, anything in life, fatherhood, youth coaching, politics is a whole nother level, but anything, man, just let me know in the comments, anything that you would like to discuss here. Follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. Follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. If you're not an X person, follow me on Instagram at Get Sports Strong. I would, love to see any comments if you guys want me to do more content like that each week. Let me know. I'm here for you, guys.